p.m. Eastern. You know what that means. On a Tuesday, we're going up. Episode number 14, Consumers to Investors. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. But first, y'all, I am feeling good. As you can tell, I got a lot of energy. It's all fake because I'm about to crash after this. After this show, I'm going to crash hard. I just got home from seeing my family in Memphis. Got to see my parents, got to see my cousins. I spent pretty much every summer growing up. Well, let's say probably it was, I don't know, I have to ask my parents. Probably since the age of 10, we started going down to Memphis to see my cousins. My dad, he grew up in Memphis for the most part. And so every summer we go down there, spend time with them. And it was amazing. And it was been so long since I've been there. It was probably at least 8 years since I've been there. So it was great. I really, really, really needed this trip. And I honestly, I did not know that I needed to get away until I was there around my parents and getting away from this environment. I went through a lot of emotions this past week. But I feel like now I'm here for y'all. I'm on the top of my game. We got people in the chat. I couldn't ask for more. So let's start off this episode a little something different. So we got intro music for the podcast now. So I want y'all to tell me what you think about this music. If you don't hear it, definitely let me know. I'll try to figure out a way to make sure you guys hear it, but it should be going now. So going forward, this will be the intro music to my podcast. All free music via YouTube. So this is how I'm going to start my shows. It's a vibe. That's how we grind. So I want y'all to know we got music in the podcast now. We're working on this production now. The song is a vibe. Every time I play it, I gotta rock my head a little bit. So definitely check out the podcast, y'all, on all your major podcasts. But this is episode number 14, Consumer to Investors. So welcome, kings and queens, to All In Society Friends. I am your host, CP2, or Claude. So join me for a fresh take on sports, business, and trending topics. All right? All right, let's get this show on the road, y'all. Let's get this show on the road. If I can figure out how to stop this music. There we go. All right, so yeah, make sure you check into the podcast. Make sure you check out this show. If you don't get a chance to watch live, it's going to be on Facebook. You'll be able to watch it there underneath my videos on my page. And please make sure you go over to YouTube and subscribe. If you're on Facebook and you're watching from there, I appreciate it. But I really appreciate it if you went over to YouTube at the end of this. Just push subscribe. Push those notifications on there. I'll post some videos going forward. New website. I worked on the website this past week, so I updated it. The podcast is on there with the kind of the best episodes that I have on there that you can click through there, and as well as All in Society and Friends. I pulled the best shows so far, put it on the website. So we on now, y'all. I'm in my bag. We're keeping this moving. LinkedIn, you can find me on there. Instagram, I'll put my handle in there. It's all in CP2. There's some underscores in there, so make sure you look at the episode description later on. I'll have it in there. And then if you need to email me for business inquiries, it's cpurches@sudasolutionsgroup.com. All right, so today's topics, we got a jam-packed episode today. So we're going to discuss my previous episode of All in Society and Friends with Yasser and Laura. Just real quick, we'll go about that. We're going to discuss Charlie Munger. Charlie Munger passed away today. He was born in 1924, and then he obviously passed away in 2023. I believe he wasn't far away from having his 100th birthday. He passed away at the age of 99. So we're going to discuss Charlie a little bit further. And one quote, or just one thing that he lived by, working alongside Warren Buffett. He said to buy great companies at great prices. I believe before Warren met Charlie, Warren was really somebody who was kind of like all of us. He would see a stock that was really cheap, and he would say, well, that stock's got to be valuable or great value right here. Well, Charlie kind of told him, well, just because something's cheap doesn't mean that it's a good company to invest in. So that really transformed Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway. And alongside with Charlie, they started investing in great companies at great prices. So that was something that was definitely beneficial for that business. And Charlie Munger is and was a great investor. We're going to discuss Black Friday, whether or not investments as presents for Christmas or any holiday or birthdays, whatever the case may be, is that something that you'd be interested in? We're going to go over sports, so we'll talk about the NFL top five, and I had the chance to watch Bye Bye Barry documentary. Barry Sanders, not late, the great Barry Sanders, who played for the Detroit Lions. If anybody knows football, y'all know that Barry Sanders played for the Detroit Lions. So I watched that this past weekend. Excellent documentary. It was on Amazon Prime, I'm pretty sure. So also Microsoft and a couple other companies, they're thinking about investing in kids' stock portfolios. So it's not just you work for Microsoft or these tech companies and the employee has a stock option. They want to take care of your family. They want to take care of your kids now as well. So we'll discuss that as well. And then I have 2024 predictions. I already put it on Facebook. But if you're not familiar, I have my predictions of what's going to happen next year for Netflix and also Bitcoin. So everybody's excited about Bitcoin. It's been running up recently. So make sure you don't want to miss that. I got a couple predictions. Whether or not they come true, hopefully we can make some money along the way. All right, so we're going to, real quick, I might kind of reiterate some of the stuff that I already said, but I want to make sure I get the podcast version of this down as well. So I'm going to record that right now. So bear with me while I get a little intro with that. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate it. This is episode number 14, Consumers to Investors. All right, so if you didn't get a chance to listen to the last episode of All in Society and Friends, I had on two poker pros from the DMV area. It was Yasser Al-Khaladar and Laura Eisenberg. Both of them, like I said, are powerhouses. They make a lot of money playing cards just in this area, and they also go out and compete in Las Vegas. I believe both are going out to the Win. December, it might be starting next week, I'm pretty sure. Some of the events are starting next week, if not this week. So I'll definitely be excited to watch them, see how they do in the events. I'm pretty sure the major event there is a $10,000 tournament for a poker tournament. I don't know what I just said. It's a $10,000 entry for a no limit hold'em poker tournament at the Win. I want to say off the top of my head, there's like an 8 or 9 million guaranteed prize pool in that tournament. So a lot of the best and biggest players in the poker community are going to be out there. Also, Ryan Jones. I interviewed him or had a conversation with Ryan this past Friday. I released the episode this past Friday. It's on audio version for the podcast. That episode is blowing up. It's probably going to be easily my most downloaded episode yet. So I know Ryan did a good job sharing it. I know you guys watched it, did a great job sharing it as well. So I truly appreciate it. That episode is doing very well. Now, I mean, blowing it up is blowing it up for me. It doesn't have like 1,000 views like you see all these other major podcasts. But for me, it is definitely doing a lot better than the other podcasts. So that's awesome to see. You got to be consistent. And you got to start from somewhere. I built this all from scratch. So if you think that you're going to build anything and then you're just going to get 1,000 viewers and everyone's going to be downloading your stuff, that's not how it works. You got to put in the work. Unless you're one of those people that be shaking your tail and showing all your skin on social media to get attention. But that's not me. What I'm here doing for you guys, I'm providing value anyway, whether it's sharing articles that I've read or sharing my personal experiences. So you're never going to, well, you might see me dancing sometime, but you're never going to be seeing me doing anything just to gain you guys' attention, just to get views. That's not what I'm here for. And if you're somebody that's doing that type of stuff to get attention, no disrespect to you, dancing's fine and all, but provide value for your family, for your community, for your friends, for everybody. I don't care if it's a stranger. Just provide value, and just I guarantee it'll all come back to you. So right now, this is all for free. I'm not charging anybody anything. I put up my own money. Early this year, I did pretty well in a couple tournaments, and one of those tournaments, I said I'm starting a business, and so I created this podcast. I created my live show, and amongst other things that I'll be doing next year. And I left my previous employer. I pulled the money out of my 401k, and I'm actively managing it now going forward. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm, it's a little risky, yes, but I'm having a ball doing this. I'm not going to do anything that's going to be detrimental to my health or to my well-being. So I'm just kind of leaping out on faith. I really believe God has me on this path of helping others, and this is how I feel that I can do it right now, in the capacity that what I'm doing right now. So let's dive into the episode. So Charlie Munger. So Charlie, as I said, born 1924, and he passed away. I believe he just passed away today. He built Berkshire Hathaway with Warren Buffett, and he had a net worth of approximately $2 billion. That's 2 billion with a B. As I'm watching right now, I have the screen on CNBC right now, and reporter Rebecca Quick, I think they call her Becky. She's on CNBC right now talking about Charlie. She just recently did an interview with Charlie, sat down with him. It looked like it was at his house, and just talked about, some what does he want to do, or is there anything else that he wants to accomplish in his life before he leaves us. And it's definitely a great interview. Definitely something you want to check out. I couldn't really find the whole interview for you guys, so I'll start looking a little bit further. And just so stay tuned, I might be able to put the full interview in there for you. But anybody that's an investor, or to be honest with you, you can learn a lot from Charlie, whether you're somebody in the stock market or not. He was just a great man. He gave a lot of his money away, philanthropic. So it's somebody to really kind of really look up to. He was a funny guy. He had a lot of one-liners. They kind of mentioned some of them on TV earlier today, um, and just a wonderful person. He can, and at the in this interview, when they were talking, I put on here, it says he can look at any deal. This is Warren said. He can look at any deal and analyze faster than anyone else. And that's what Warren Buffett said in the interview. It was just a little clip. So Charlie was definitely an expert in his field. And I'm pretty sure that Warren kind of pulled him into investing. I think he was going to go down the path of law, or might have been something else that I was listening to. And kind of Warren took him in and said, that's not really going to serve you. This is where you can really make impact. So I would love to see. I don't know if Warren has really spoke about Charlie or his death quite yet, but I'll definitely be on the lookout to see what Warren has to say. All right, so let's get into Black Friday shopping. Black Friday generated 9.8 billion in U.S. online sales this past Friday, according to Adobe Analytics, and that's up 7.5% from a year ago. Up 7.5% from a year ago. Impulse purchases may have played a role in the Black Friday growth, since 5.3 billion of online sales come from mobile shopping. 5.3 billion from online shopping and from mobile shopping. I also heard on TV there was somebody that went into Target, and they asked some of the employees, how's everything going? And the employees said, I'm actually kind of bored. This has been the lightest, the quietest Black Friday ever. So pros and cons. If I was, if I was in that business, I would be a little bit worried if I was like the CEO or the people higher up, because I want to know if those folks, are they shopping online or are they just not shopping with us? So time will tell as the quarterly reports come out for like Walmart, Target, Best Buy. We'll really see what happened on Black Friday. Are they moving elsewhere? Is Amazon taking all the business? Where are people spending their money? So it'll be very interesting to see how we're spending our money, where we're spending our money. Now, this is really the main topic I wanted to discuss on this subject. According to Adobe survey, 79 million of the sales came from consumers opted to buy the buy now, pay later option, a flexible payment method to stretch their wallets, and that's up 47% from last year. So it's a innovative product, great service they provide. But let's talk about this. If you have to use a buy now, pay later, you're basically saying that you don't have the money for the item you're purchasing. That is very dangerous. This is not something we want to continue doing. If you cannot afford that item today, that means you don't need to be purchasing it. You see this book up here? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you've not read this book, and look, we're losing people as I say this. Of course we're losing people. I want to get you guys emotional. I want you to think about what we're doing. This book changed my life. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. What is the main topic in that book? Assets over liabilities. In America, we spend. We have so much debt and credit card debt. We have to change. If we don't change, the next generation is going to affect this. Well, we should be setting up our next generation, our kids, for success. But if we're teaching them, yeah, it's fine if you don't have it now, just buy now and pay later. Again, we lost somebody else. We're not teaching them if you need to have the money in order to spend the money, about budgeting and saving. What are we doing here? It's more expensive to buy a home. Inflation makes everything super expensive, right? Life is getting more difficult. We have to be smarter about how we spend money. Did you need those UGG boots? No. Did you need those electronics? No. Did you need that new iPhone? No. They find all these creative ways to make it seem easier or less expensive to get these new products and things. You see how many times they're throwing those commercials on Apple for the new iPhone? We don't need a new iPhone. It does the same thing as it did last year. We all know that. They're not doing anything that makes me want to go out and spend $1,000 with them. No, what we need to be doing is put $1,000 in Apple stock. And I'm not saying to go out and buy it right now, today. I'm telling you, do your research, talk to your financial advisor, whoever you talk to make those decisions, your family. That's what we should be doing. We should be investing, not spending. And that's what the topic of this conversation is. So for the people that left after I started talking about this, I literally said it's consumer to investor. So what did you think we were talking about? To be quite honest with you, I don't care to hurt your feelings. I just want us to get on the same page and make sure we're moving together, moving forward, and not going backwards. We got to be smarter. I'm not going to harp on that anymore. You already know. I've hit the point enough. So let's get to something more lighthearted. Investments as presents. So how would you feel if someone gifted you stock like Apple or Microsoft? Those of you who don't know, Apple and Microsoft are two of the best companies available for us to invest in. They're powerhouses in the tech industry, and I don't really see anybody knocking them off anytime soon, and I really don't see Apple and Microsoft folding anytime soon. Apple has, I believe, the highest market cap, and then Microsoft is just under there. But with these AI investments in companies like OpenAI, Microsoft is coming for Apple. We are, as in the news, you probably hear this negative sentiment and this news about Apple iPhones aren't selling the way they used to. Apple doesn't really care. They're still making money off the phone. Their services is what they're really going towards, and not bringing in revenue, and that's bringing in profit for the business. Their services business. You already see. What do you think they pivoted from from iPhones, and now they're going into Vision Pro? They're moving on to the next stage, the next phase, their next product. Remember they had what was that, iPods or whatever it was, and then we got the cell phones, and now they're moving on to their next thing, which is the Vision Pro. Now, how many of us have $3,500 to spend on that Vision Pro? Not me, but I know I'm gonna try my best to get it any way possible. I'm gonna invest my tail off in order to get that Vision Pro. But down the road, they're going to make this more affordable. It's going to be smaller. It's going to be more compact, and everyone's going to have it. And it'll probably be like sunglasses 5, 10 years from now. It won't be these big ski mask looking things like they have. But the technology that's in there, it's going to be great. I went off tangent a little bit. We want to talk about investments as presents. About 70% of Americans say they would be happy to receive an investment as a holiday gift, the poll showed. And this is from Yahoo Finance article. Only 6% of Americans said they would let down or they'd be let down by receiving an investment this holiday season. So instead of video games and electronics, how about consider gifting stocks of the greatest companies to your family and your close friends? So those of us that are maybe not invested in we don't have any stocks in the stock market. Now it's a great time to start, right? What makes more sense? Let's give somebody a a shirt or something that's going to go out of style next year or probably a couple months from now, or give a gift to something that's going to compound and keep returning and keep generating revenue, hopefully down the road, as long as it's a great company. I'm not going to buy, I don't know, AMC. I'm not going to buy AMC stock and say, "Here, Billy, here's your Christmas gift." But if you're going to spend $100 on a gift, and you saw that Apple stock was around $100 as well, what do you think is the better gift? The investment. So if you might be asking, well, Claude, well, how do I do that? So you can start the process online in your own brokerage account, and if you don't have a brokerage account, you can open one. You start by opting to gift shares or securities of your own. And if you can't find that option, you can just contact the brokerage firm directly. If you want to gift a stock you don't already own, you'll obviously have to purchase it in your own account, and then you have to transfer it over to your recipient. Look, we lost people again. This is the best part of the show. I guess these guys didn't want investments as a present. But I think it's a great idea. So Mom, Dad, I'll take some Apple stock. I'll take some Microsoft. I'll take some NVIDIA. Oh, I was cutting out, Travis, when the music was playing. Baby music was too much. All right, no more playing music. Oh my goodness. All right, Ryan. Ryan said I really undershot it. It was for the tournament, for the poker tournament, the $10,000 buy-in. It's 8 million for first place. There's $40 million guaranteed in the prize pool. Jesus, I really undershot that. So $40 million guaranteed in this prize pool at the win in Las Vegas. First place be like $8 million. That's amazing. I need to be better interacting with you guys in the chat. All right, Stefan, where you at? You home? We're gonna get Stefan in here. We're gonna go over the NFL because I know he's gonna have something to say about his Eagles because they are playing out of their mind right now. I like the 49ers to win the Super Bowl, but now I'm getting a little nervous that the Eagles are looking good. They are looking good. All right, so sent it over to Stefan. And if anybody else, if you guys are in the chat, if you're ever in the chat and you want to, if there's something in the that I'm discussing and you want to add something to it, or if you disagree with what I'm saying, oh my goodness, what is going on today? If you disagree with anything I'm saying, please jump in the chat and say, Claude, let me join here. I want to have a conversation with you. 'Cause I want us to interact and I want this to be engaging, and not just in chat. I want to bring you guys on and just have some insightful conversations. So if Stefan he was in the car earlier, but I'm going to go over the NFL top 5 right now. So Eagles, I have at number 1, Chiefs number 2, 49ers number 3, Ravens number 4, and this might be a surprise, but I like the Cowboys at number 5. I'm pretty sure I had the Lions as number five last week, but obviously they lost this Thursday, and I think the Cowboys are probably a little better on defense than the Detroit Lions are. Uh, Dak is moving that offense between CeeDee Lamb, running backs. Pollard seems to be doing all right as well, but yeah, I can't. I'm not. Every time that Detroit plays a team that I think they should be crushing, like a divisional opponent, there's no way in the world that they should have lost to Green Bay. The Green Bay hasn't been playing that well. It was like the tables are flipped. There was Green Bay's Super Bowl. It's typically our Super Bowl. It's the Thanksgiving game. Uh, Goff's been turning the ball over, giving the ball away. It's just been atrocious. So hopefully he gets this together. I think Stefan won't connect with me today, so we're just gonna have to talk about NFL um, by myself today. Or if you guys want to jump in and let me know what you think about your team or any of the teams that I have in the top five. If you don't think my list is correct, definitely let me know. Bye bye Barry. So I loved every minute, every second of this documentary. This is a must watch for all football fans. I don't care if you're a fan of the Detroit Lions, if you are a Green Bay Packers, Bears, or Minnesota Vikings fan, you'll still love this. I'm sure they even loved watching Barry play, even though he probably punished them when we played them back in the day. But it was really awesome. I think the documentary was very well done. It was on Amazon Prime, I believe, and it really just took us back to his college days. It really dove deep into his relationship with his father, which I thought that was awesome. And we got a look inside Barry's head and how he really didn't care about records. All he really cared about is playing the game and playing the game right. He didn't really want to be in the spotlight. He just loved the game. He loved the X's and O's, and that's all he really cared about is just being on the field and winning the game. He didn't care about breaking records. I believe there was multiple times where he had opportunity to break a record, and he told coaches, "Take me out and let the young guys play. Let them get some reps." So it's a lot. It kind of speaks volume of what the type of player and what type of person um, Barry Sanders was. And I want to spoil it for you guys because I don't want to tell the whole thing. But at the end of it, he sat around with his boys and really discussed why he decided to leave the time that he did. And when you watch the documentary and you see everything was going on with the team and how he felt they were mismanaging the folks around him, it's kind of you see it before even they gets to that segment. You can kind of tell why exactly he decided to step away. But he was one of the greatest running backs of all time, and I wish I was just a little bit older to remember him playing. So I was born in '88, and so I don't remember too much. My most vivid memories with me and my dad in the early '90s watching the Denver Broncos play. I don't know why. I just remember right now just thinking about that. I can see their jerseys, and I remember being at our house, which my parents no longer live there in Michigan anymore, and I just remember this memory. I have this vivid memory in my head right now. Just me and my dad sitting watching. It must have been a Super Bowl where the Broncos were playing. I'm not sure what year it was, but it's a vivid memory. I can just close my eyes and I can see it right now, and it just kind of makes me smile every time I think about it. Uh, Me and my dad really bond over football. We watched the Michigan Ohio State game this weekend. We watched the Lions game, so it was a lot of fun. I love watching football and sports with him. And he played football himself. From what I heard, and he didn't say this from his mouth. It's just other people that I've had conversations with. Actually, my friend from high school, Ryan, he knew who my father was before he when he about kind of he's like he knew who my dad was before he even met me. Just kind of probably word of his mouth from his either mother and father, probably his dad playing football. And so my dad was pretty good. He got hurt. He hurt his knee, but he probably had the opportunity to go to the league. But obviously, things happen, and probably happen for the better. Because who knows? A lot of those football players, they make a lot of money, but nothing's guaranteed. You can make it to the league, get hurt, and then you know you got to try to pivot and find something else to do. So maybe it just wasn't in the cards for him. I haven't really sat down. I didn't really ask him. I just kind of asked him a couple of brief questions of, was it hard transitioning after you got hurt into stepping away from the game, and little simple questions like that. Things I haven't really, as you get older, our relationship has gotten much stronger. I put a long Facebook post, which a lot of people interacted with that. I appreciate that. But I kind of said at a very young age, my dad really set me up for success for today, because he just kind of told me what the world's like out there, especially for a young black man, um, and some things to look out for. And at that time, it kind of takes away your joy and a little bit of your adolescence at those early years, but for good reason, because a lot of the kids that were ended up drinking, and just a lot of people lived their best years in their high school. My dad set me up to make sure that I did not live my best years in high school. He set me up for success so today, I can be, in the position where I am right now to kind of do something a little bit risky and do something what I'm passionate about. Because when I was working in corporate America, I was not happy. I was making good money, but they did not treat me right, and I was not happy. I put up with a lot of BS, which nobody should have to deal with. I don't want to harp on, my past employer or anything like that, because everyone has trials and tribulations at the workplace, and no one really wants to hear me talk about my prior workplace anymore, anyways. But as I get older, I really appreciate those conversations that he had with me. We would get into the car, and we would just get in the car and just drive. Sometimes I don't even think that we had necessarily a place to go, but I remember a lot of these conversations about sex, about women, just about being a man. My father, he'd show me how to be a man at a very young age, and what to look out for. And there's one thing that he told me at a very young age, and this was really what hurt me. And he said a couple of things. He said, those women and those people, your friends, they're looking, because I'll tell you this, we grew up in the suburbs. I grew up my parents provided, I wasn't spoiled, I would say, but my parents provided me with a good life growing up. And a lot of those people that were in my life because of what my father provided for me and the things that I have that they did not have. And them trying to get a piece of that one way or the other, or just get a glimpse of what it's like to live that type of life. And at that time, I didn't, I was like, Dad, whatever, they're my friends because they're my friends. You look back and think about these things. He was dead on 100% true. 100% true. He also told me that I was going to have very few close friends in life. And at the time, I wasn't hearing that. I was like, whatever. I have so many friends. We're going to do this, that together. And no, not the case. To this day, I have two guys, it's Corey and Ryan. If I really wanted to in a pinch, now they have their own lives now. And I've kind of told them I'm sorry for being a crappy friend. Because they started to live their lives one way, and I started to live my life my way, and it just didn't align. So I just kind of went off, and what was easiest for me was just kind of abandon and do and focus whatever I was doing. But looking back, those are the two guys that know me better than anybody else. So why would I alienate myself from two people that know me better than anyone else and think that I'm going to? It's possible you can find somebody down the road, but when someone knows you from who you are, from when you were shooting in the gym, y'all know what I'm saying? From back in the day, you wasn't, you guys went through a lot. They know a lot about you, who you are as a person. You don't want to get rid of those relationships. You don't want to alienate those people. You don't want to push those people out of your life. You want to hold on to those relationships. You want to keep those people close. And so, I just kind of told them, I think either Thanksgiving or the day after, and so I apologize for just being a crappy friend. Um, and they've gone, and they have either wives or girlfriends, and they have kids. I'm the only person that's single, and I don't have any kids. which I'm actually very happy. It gives me the opportunity and freedom to do the things that I'm capable of doing now. Um, but it's also nice to see them grow and become men and fathers, and kind of watch them and watch their families grow. So it's wonderful to watch from a distance, but I still, I still miss that camaraderie. And unfortunately, now with everyone, you know, have they have a lot more responsibility than me. It's probably gonna be more difficult to really spend time with them. But hopefully, we can get to meet up later on next year and get a trip together and see each other. All right, those little kind of sentimental part of the show. Hopefully, I didn't lose y'all too much. All right, we want to talk about the market here a little bit. But before we do that, I want to go over the disclaimer. The information provided in this show about personal finance and investing is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and should not be considered financial advice. Viewers are encouraged to consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. The content presented may not be accurate, complete, or timely, and I do not assume responsibility for any errors or omissions. Investing involves risk, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Any endorsements or advertisements featured do not constitute recommendations. And by participating in the show, you acknowledge and accept these disclaimers. All right, let's talk about the market now. I'm gonna toot my own horn today. So I posted it in the event so you guys can see. I've tried to be as transparent as possible. I pretty much posted my entire portfolio. So I only have one stock right now. It's down. It's down like 2%, less than $100. So I'm all right with that. And found a couple stocks to invest in this week. I'm not really going to talk about that stock today because it's a penny stock and it's kind of very risky. But a couple of folks have jumped on it, and hopefully we all make some money together moving forward. But one thing that I did want to discuss is stock portfolios for every child. Tech investor Brad Gerstner, hopefully I didn't butcher his name too much, has contacted CEOs of Microsoft, Uber, and others to discuss funding stock market portfolios for children. It sounds like it's really just the tech companies, but we'll see if it's going to elaborate and expand to more than just the tech companies. He hopes to create a government-funded $1,000 investment account for children and have corporate America provide matching funds. He's working on legislation to be passed before the next presidential election. This program is called Invest America. So make sure you Google that and take a look at that. This article that I got it from is from CNBC. So I think this is great, and companies should look out for the entire family and not just to that one employee, right? The employee sometimes has kids, a wife, and it's great that we're thinking about the kids and thinking about the family as a whole and not just that one individual person. So I thought that was absolutely amazing, absolutely awesome to have these conversations. So I'm curious, what are you guys' thoughts? Would you, so say if there was two jobs and one job did provide the $1,000 investment program and the other job did not provide the $1,000 investment program, would you side with the company with the program, or would you side with the company without? I know if I had kids, I know what I would do. I'm definitely going to go with the program. That'd be awesome. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Leave a review. You can say anything in the chat. Just want to make this a more engaging video. Bring anybody on if you guys are interested to come on and talk about it. Sorry, I'm chatting with people, guys, in the chat while I'm having these conversations. Okay, nobody want to come on. Okay, let's talk about 2024 predictions. So earlier this week, I had two predictions that I posted on Facebook. I might have posted them on a couple other social media sites as well. So I said Bitcoin next year will run over $100,000. And so a couple people were like, bro, how, why, what do you know? What are you smoking? Well, I've discussed prior about Bitcoin halving. So if you're not familiar with that, make sure you do your own research and figure out what's going on with Bitcoin halving. But that's supposed to take place around April 2024, next year. And every time Bitcoin halves, it shoots off. So essentially, just kind of give you the Cliff Notes version. So I think there's 21 million Bitcoins ever produced. Now, don't quote me on these numbers, but you'll get the basically understanding. 21 million Bitcoin ever produced. Every 4 years, that amount is cut in half. So if you have something that so if you have a but just let's keep it at this. If you have something that is diluted and cut in half, but there's a high demand for something, what do you think is going to happen to the price of Bitcoin? It's going to go up. And it happens every 4 years. The supply is cut in half. And if you understand supply and demand, if you have less of something, but everyone still wants it, the stock price is just going to keep going up, going up, going up, going up. And I'm not saying this is guaranteed. A lot of times, history doesn't necessarily repeat itself, but history tends to rhyme. It's kind of a line that they talk about on Earn Your Leisure. And one person that I've really got my investing strategy from is Wall Street Trapper. He has a show that's going on right now. It started at 7 p.m. So once I jump off of this, I jump right into his show and see if I can get some free game from him because he provides free game. If you guys, if you just like listening to me just to kind of get your feet wet, that's perfectly fine. This is exactly what I want this to be. I want you to get your feet wet with me, and then I want you to go with somebody else who is more seasoned than I am and can kind of give you the blueprint. Because I'm making this is kind of more informational and entertaining for me. If you really want the goods, these guys have courses which I purchased myself from EYL or Wall Street Trapper. That's not what I'm here for. I know I'm not a financial expert. I'm not going to build these courses and tell you how to invest your money. What I'm really trying to do is, hey, this is what I'm doing, and I want to give you the confidence. If you're not confident enough to take that leap, I want to show you, well, I'm doing it, and make you. And so if you're like, well, Claude can do it, I can do it, because I'm not. This is so easy. It's very easy. It's They make this game seem like it's so difficult to make money, but it's really not. It's so super simple. My basic strategy is find a great company that just happens to be in disarray for the moment. So the stock price goes down. But if it's a great company that you understand, and it needs to be a company that you understand the business, and you have to do your research. You're going to do a lot of reading. And so it needs to be a company that you enjoy reading about, and a lot of it is like Apple. A lot of us have Apple products. So invest in Apple. You know everything about it. You purchase those devices all the time. It's a great company. You just got to wait for it to fall to the price that you want it to fall for. Well, how do I know it's a great price? Well, that's why you need to do your research. Or you need to listen to me when I break those things down. Or if you don't want to listen to me, then you go to Wall Street Trapper or you can go to EYL and they can break that down for you. If you don't want to listen from them, there's plenty of people that are going to teach you this game. But so find those companies that you know the product, you understand the product, you enjoy reading about the product. You put it on your watch list, and then you wait for a moment where it gets to the price that you want to. You buy it, you hold on to it, and then look and see what I've been doing. It's super simple. I made $3,500, and it is not that hard. It's not hard. Now, is $3,500 going to change my life? Absolutely not. But that $3,500 is going to continue to compound year after year, as long as the company keeps producing. And if we're investing in great companies, it's more likely than not that our money is going to continue to compound and we'll continue to make a profit off of that investment. So, real simple. And the second company, or excuse me, the second prediction I had was Netflix. Stefan. Hello, Mr. Stefan. Let me get you on here. Hey, where you at? Are you live?
Yeah, I put my earbuds in.
What tournament are you playing?
I'm playing him.
You playing what?
Hold
Are you playing
I'm
right
playing.
now?
Yeah, hold on.
Oh
I
Lord.
put my earbuds on.
All right. All right. Well, let me know where you're in the hand. This is nice. We got some live action poker on the show for the first time.
I know. You gotta connect.
Okay. Hey, so I'm gonna go over the top five real quick. You already know who I have in number one, so I'm not gonna go over number one. But I got the Eagles number one. But I wanted to tell you I didn't get a chance to really watch the game, so I want to get your take on the game. So I got Eagles one, Chiefs two, 49ers three, Ravens four. But instead of the Lions at five, I got the Cowboys at five. Obviously, the Lions lost. They're not in the top five anymore. They lost Thanksgiving game. But I want to know what you see about you. What do you think about your Eagles and that win in overtime against the Bills?
Hold on, Claude.
Oh Lord, you may. Oh jeez, you about to get the boot. You lucky it's the end of the episode. I'm sleepy. Been traveling all day long. Oh, he must be in the middle of hand. You got it. All right, he's in the hand right now, so he can't really say anything. We're gonna give him his
I'm not
time.
a hand. I'm trying to pair my earbuds.
You trying to do what? Oh Lord, the episode was going all right till yo behind something. I'm about to give you 30 more seconds. I'm gonna give you the boot.
All right, go ahead, real quick.
All right, Eagles, Chiefs, 49ers, Ravens, Cowboys. But what the Eagles game? I didn't get a chance to watch it. So tell me, like, what did you pull from the Eagles game?
I like the fact that we still, no matter how we play the second half, we put it together and still won the game.
Yeah.
1,200. 1,200. 1,200 to go.
What tournament are you playing?
200. Raise 3,000. Double stack. 3,000.
Do they have the leaderboard over
3,000 to
there?
go.
He's playing out. If you're for y'all that are not familiar, for those of you not familiar, he's playing in Maryland. He's playing at Maryland Live poker room, playing a poker tournament. He's
I'm
playing in
supposed to three bet you. I'm gonna be nice. I don't like to take my senior citizens out.
And
Check.
also, Stefan, just so y'all know, Stefan is a troublemaker at the table. He has definitely calmed down a bit, but he is definitely somebody who
Action
has
card.
a
Check.
lot of energy, and he's a bully at the
Oh,
table.
you check. I'm
If
gonna
it
bet
was,
10,000 in the blind.
he's a bully at the table. If uh if he finds somebody who's kind of like weak minded, he's gonna needle him a little bit, like
I
it's a
know.
home game. But you gotta be careful if you do this at the live casino setting, and you piss off somebody or you make somebody mad, you might get kicked out of the casino. So he likes to like get under people's skin, and he plays a aggressive style of poker, and he does pretty good doing so. He ain't on my level yet, but he getting there. You in the hand?
Yeah, they just called the floor with me. I'm sitting at the table with a whole bunch of old people. They don't like the fact I'm on the phone.
Oh Lord! All right, I'll let you go. Bye.
Yeah, I'm forward. Yeah, I'm forward. Yeah. I moved away though, so I'm good
Don't
now. Oh,
don't play
I
it.
don't want number.
You're losing connection anyways. Yo, you're the worst. You're the worst. All right. Well, I'll let Stefan get it together. I always like. It's the reason why I'm patient with Stefan because Stefan has been the most supportive person since day one. Since day one, he's been with me. He's been on the show, watching every show, engaging with me, ask, kind of learning the stock stuff with me as well. So that's why I'm a little bit patient, kind of go through the silliness of this. Plus, it was pretty cool that he's playing a poker tournament, as long as they were going to allow him to do it. But obviously, the connection and everything, it just didn't work out today. But we're working on it. We'll work on it in the future. But I just want last prediction. So we were talking about Netflix. So Netflix. So I'm sure you guys all pretty much everybody has a Netflix subscription, right? Well, I don't. I don't think there's enough content on there for me to watch. I don't have a Disney Plus subscription either, so it's not like I'm just don't not a Netflix guy. But last quarter, Netflix stock shot up because they booted everybody that was. Remember, they booted everybody for kind of piggybacking on your friends, your family, and you stealing the service, and then they got everybody, and then they charged them. Well, if everybody was stealing your service and they weren't paying for it, what makes you think that those people are going to stay around for the long term? I'm very skeptical that they're going to stick around. And so I think the stock's going to fall. I'm not nothing like crater 50%, but I think right now Netflix is at, I want to give you guys a correct number. It's at $479 it closed at today. I think this stock is probably going to fall to 400 or below next year. I think a lot of those people that were still in the service, and by stealing, I'm not trying to say nobody could, I'm not trying to paint a negative picture of any of you if you were piggybacking on someone else's Netflix, but you weren't paying for it yourself. But those folks that are now watching it and paying for it, I don't think they're going to stick around. And this is the reason why. Netflix doesn't have live TV, and it doesn't seem like they're going to have live TV anytime soon. And most importantly, they don't have a sports element. Unless they get into the bidding for the sports rights like the NBA, I don't think that they're going to be able to stay on the top for too much longer. They're obviously the if you want to invest in a streaming service, Netflix is the one to invest in. But Disney, which Disney Plus is not profitable right now, they're saying about, I think you either said 2025 or the end of 2024 that they're expecting it to be profitable. And if you look at if you look at Disney stock, I bought it when it was at its pretty much its 52-week low at $78. And right now it closed at $92.50. So that's a nice ride, right? And this is what I'm talking about. You buy great companies. Disney's a great company. You really think Disney's going anywhere? Heck no. They split their three segments of their business. They have the parks, they have the streaming service, and then they call it sports, the ESPN segment of their business. Now, ESPN it's been kind of trending down, but that's a profitable business. The sports business is really why I'm invested in it, because I know how profitable sports is. People, when you think about sports, you think of ESPN. So when they spin off ESPN to its own streaming service, I think that's going to be a game changer. They launched ESPN Bet, and you hear DraftKings and you hear FanDuel talking about, oh, it's going to be difficult to gain customers because it's a very difficult business. Blah 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 blah. It's not that difficult. How many of you gone from one site to the other site to the other site because you're bouncing to get the free money? That's what I do. That's what everybody does. I jumped on FanDuel, got the free money. See you later. Jumped on DraftKings, got the free money. See you later. Caesars, got it. See you later. Now ESPN Bet, got it. I'm not going anywhere anymore. Because if I want to look up anything on sports, I'm going to ESPN website or I'm going to the ESPN app. How many of you play fantasy football? ESPN app, ESPN Fantasy Football. What are they going to do? They're going to integrate ESPN Bet. You're going to be logging on, setting your lineups. You'll be able to place a bet by pushing a button. It's going to send you right on over to ESPN Bet. DraftKings and FanDuel Caesars, MGM, all of these guys, just trust me, watch. ESPN, Disney's about to eat into their market share. I'm not saying these other companies are going to fail. They're doing well, but this business isn't that hard. And ESPN, Disney owns sports. When you think of sports, you think of ESPN. Who owns ESPN? Disney. It's that simple. It's that simple. So with that being said, I think Netflix is going to have a little bit of trouble in the future. Um, One of my previous employers, his name is Jimmy Summerfield. He and I have been talking about streaming services on Facebook. He was like, "Do not invest in those businesses," and I really agree with him. And so I'm investing in Disney, but it's not a streaming service, strictly streaming service business. They have other elements of their business and why I invest in it. So listen to Jimmy, listen to me, and no, don't listen to either one of us. Do your own research. I want you guys to find a financial advisor, anybody that you think is knowledgeable, has been doing this for a while. I'm still relatively new. I'm still learning stuff on a daily basis. But from my experience from playing poker, there's a lot of similarities from playing poker to and investing in the stock market. And so that's the reason why I think I've picked it up so fast and be able to make money and implement some of these techniques and strategies I use at the poker table and apply that to the investing game. And that's what I'm going to do and with my business, with this show, with my podcast, is that we're going to get people in the poker community. We're going to get people who are investors, who are entrepreneurs, actors, anybody from all walks of life. I just want to get us all together, build a community. We all are experts in something. We all know a little bit something about a certain industry or a certain company that the other person doesn't know. So if we have a community and we all come together, whether it's just to this show or whether you listen to my podcasts, whether we do something on Patreon, whatever the case may be, we come together once a week, once a month, whatever the cadence is. We make decisions together, and we can grow wealth together. That's what this show is really all about. So that's pretty much it for the show. I know it probably wasn't the cleanest show from start to finish, but like I said, I am dirt tired, so I appreciate y'all for rocking with me today. I hope I at least provided some value for you. I wish Stefan would have had an opportunity to really talk a little bit more about Philly and NFL because he really does. He's a big Philly fan. And so, and he didn't get a chance to talk about this. He put a $20 parlay in. I'm not sure what site he did, but he won 2K. So that's probably why he's playing a poker tournament right now. He's got that money's burning a hole in his pocket. Where you at, Stefan? You in the chat? He didn't say. I don't think he said anything in the chat yet. Sean, should I invest in Disney app? So I'm not going to tell you one way or the other. Whether or not you should invest, Sean. But just do a little bit of research about the company. What I've done, I went back and listened to they have their press conferences or basically their quarterly reports. And in those reports, you'll hear Bob Iger, the CEO, you'll hear the CFO talk, and they'll pretty much give you a kind of like how they feel how the business is going. And so by listening to them, you can it'll give you a good idea of whether or not you feel that the company is going to be going in the right direction as far as profitability. But I will say, just kind of cliff notes, they did say by the end of 2024 that the streaming business should be profitable. They're talking about spinning off some of they were trying to get investors for the ESPN and the streaming what they're trying to do. They're trying to get money to come in from tech companies or telecommunication companies like AT&T or Verizon to help them get some cash or free up some cash so they can get the NBA rights are coming up pretty soon. And so they need some cash in order to get those rights for the NBA because it's going to be even more money than it was before the last deal. And so they're even trying to team up with some of the leagues in order to do this. And so Bob's being very, he's trying new things. He's changing the company. Disney is not what it was a few years ago. And so Bob Iger was CEO leading up to the pandemic. He left either right before the pandemic or right during the pandemic, and then the other CEO came in and literally just ran the company to the ground. He made a lot of bad decisions, and the stock market punished them for the decisions that they were making. And you can see it right now in the movies. What Marvel's tanked, even though I really like that movie. I didn't see the movie Wish, but it didn't do very well in the box office, and so he really hurt the movie business. And so Bob really he came back, and that past CEO really gave away a lot of the creative ability to he took it away. The old CEO took away the creative ability for the movies and gave it the power to someone else. Well, Bob kind of took it back and gave it back to the people who he felt would would do a better job with the movies. I'm I'm trying to talk off the top of my head, so I'm not saying anything like really clear, guys. I apologize. Um, and so really a lot of people are saying that's a lot. I think a lot of the reason why the stock is going down is because they were fighting with DeSantis about it was what they're teaching school kids in school, and there was I think they did something for they had like a pride parade or something at Disney, and DeSantis had something against that, and so a lot of the investors have just been pulling out their money, and the stock market hated it to the point where the stock dipped below where it was during the pandemic. During the pandemic, it fell to like $85, $80. Remember I said it fell to like $78? It fell below during the pandemic. When everything was closed, the stock cratered below the pandemic levels. That doesn't make any sense. This is still a good business. Disney is not going anywhere. They're going to be able to turn these movies around. They'll be able to make the streaming business profitable again. So hopefully, I mean, giving you that information, you can make a decision yourself, or like I said, find a financial advisor. But I don't necessarily know if right now is a good time to invest in Disney because, like I said, I bought it when the stock price was around $78 to $85. Now it's sitting around 92.50. Do I still think it has room to run? Yeah, but I think you might be able to find another opportunity to buy and be able to write it up, kind of like I did. Do I think it'll fall down to $78 again? No, because there's other folks coming in. I can't think of the name of what they call these folks, but they have large amounts of money and they dump it into the stock, and then they say, "Well, I want a seat on the board because I don't think you're doing a good job." And so so there's been multiple of Nelson Peltz, I think was one of the gentlemen that came in and invested heavily in Disney, and he wants a seat on the board. But Bob's like, "No, we're good. We know what we're doing. You're not getting a seat on the board." Um, so I think where the stock is right now is probably not going to dip down to those crazy numbers. Travis said those kind of things are what makes investing so profitable. Nike, Disney, etc. Anytime there's people scared and dumping, makes you millions. No different than housing crisis. Take advantage when you can. Exactly, and that's really what I do. I'm contrarian in investing and in life. That's why I think that I didn't mesh well at my previous employer, because I'm going to question everything that you say. I don't. That's just that's who I am. Or if I don't necessarily question it, I'll say, "Well, you're saying this." Well, I'm like, "Well, what about this?" I'm never just going to blindly be like, "Yeah," and just keep on going. Maybe when I'm first kind of filling something out, but when I get a good idea of whatever I'm doing, I'm going to be contrarian because there's always another side to look at something. And I remember sitting in these meetings, and and we're talking and trying to come up with creative solutions, and they come up a solution, but then I'm like, well, what about this? And my ideas are just, you can see when somebody's really listening to what you have to say, or your boss is just like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Know your role. Shut up. Well, guess what? Your company's going to crap now after I left. So you tell me if I knew what I was talking about. So I'll leave it at there, guys. Thank you for joining me for this episode. Um, I appreciate it. We're about an hour in. Make sure you check out the podcast tomorrow. I'll have a podcast for you at 8 p.m. Eastern, a fresh new podcast. We'll have the intro music on there. I'll get the music going on here, hopefully better next time. But thank you guys for tuning in with me. I know this was a sloppy episode, but hopefully I gave you some good game in here. Peace.